Hello, and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, divorce support for dads, where we help dads create a healthy and less traumatic divorce. My name is Jude Sandoval, and I'm your host. I created this podcast and the Divorced Advocate community as a result of my own high conflict divorce, and because you as a dad deserve all the resources necessary to thrive through this challenging time. I encourage you to check out our website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, where there are resources that correspond to this episode, as well as free access to our membership community, where you will find live meetings, free workshops and courses, private discussion groups, and more. And now, on to this week's episode. Hello, and welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here and listening. If this is your first time, welcome. If you have listened before and you are a veteran, welcome as well. I hope that you're finding some value in listening to these episodes. If you are, please share these far and wide. Leave us a comment or a star rating on whatever podcast platform you are listening. It helps us immensely to get the word out and to attract other dads that are going through divorce to get the support that they need. So please do that. Welcome. We are going to be revisiting a topic. It's actually the 5-step process that I use in individual coaching when I'm working with you dads in private practice. I recorded a series on this in the first year of the podcast. So I think in the first 15 or 20 episodes of the podcast, but I wanted to go back and I just wanted to do a brief one this time around. So these are going to be brief, and my goal is for them to be brief, give you over the next 5 weeks each one of those steps, and then give you some actionable items that you can take. So my idea is to keep these around 15 minutes or so, and then you can use the other 15 minutes to pause or turn this episode off, and then actually do what we're talking about in the podcast. But before we jump in, let me welcome new members to the Divorced Advocate community. Those are Sean, Eric, Jose, David, Laura, and Jim. Welcome to the Divorced Advocate community. If you are not part of it yet, get engaged. Go to thedivorcedadvocate.com. We have all kinds of resources for wherever you are at, some free, some paid. So whatever level you're at and whatever you need, we've got something for you there. The divorce quiz is an awesome free opportunity to check out where you're at in your divorce compared to others who have gone through it. It'll take about 10 minutes to take the quiz. You'll get some immediate results, and then you'll get an opportunity, if you desire, for us to go over those individually and review them and see where you're doing well and where you can use some help. So check that out at thedivorcedadvocate.com under the divorce quiz tab. So get involved, welcome new members, and let's jump in here and talk about the Dad's Guide to Divorce. So welcome to the series. And so my goal here and my aim is to support you dads navigating the tumultuous waters of divorce and the life after it. So like I mentioned, over the next 5 weeks, I'm going to share the 5-step process that I've developed to help you identify and implement a plan for your life during the divorce process and post-life. And what this is going to help do is ensure that you and your children can move forward in a healthy and functional way towards a brighter future and make it a less traumatic divorce. So the first step in this 5-step process is to clarify your vision and direction. And so let's just first talk about the storm that you're going through. Entering into or dealing with the aftermath of divorce is most definitely one of the most challenging experiences a man can face. We've talked about it before, that just in our masculine identity, being in chaos and uncertainty is uncomfortable for us. But also the pain and suffering involved can be overwhelming, as I know from personal experience. It's crucial to make sure that you acknowledge those feelings. They could be feelings of loss or uncertainty about the future, and that's all entirely normal. Divorce comes with these floods of emotions the loss of your partner, not seeing your children daily, financial fears, and more. These are not only common, but frankly, they're a part of the healing process. This might not be something that cognitively you can wrap your mind around right now, but looking back, I can most definitely, and I know guys that I work with and that are on our group calls that are a little further down the road than you may be, would definitely agree with. It is part of the healing process in order to, or having to go through this emotional challenge. So if you can do a mindset shift in that, and a reframe around that, it's kind of like the pain that you endure in the gym or a sport, and just getting up to speed and learning to get back in shape, if you will. It's difficult and painful, but part of that process leads to bearing fruit. So I know it's hard to think of it in those terms, but I do encourage you to allow yourself to feel these emotions, but seek support through a coach or a therapist if you can. If you don't have the means for that, join a men's group or a support network if your resources are more limited. But understanding and managing these feelings is the first step towards finding clarity. So why do we need to clarify our vision during divorce? Well, as men, our sense of identity is often closely tied to our vision for our lives. I'm going to say that again because it's just it's a truism, if you will, around the masculine nature. And that is, as men, our sense of identity is often closely tied to our vision for our lives. So many of us don't realize this until a significant disruption like divorce occurs. This was, in fact, my experience. Many of us will have slid, quote unquote, slid into our life circumstances rather than consciously deciding each step. Now, this is a concept that I read about from Dr. Scott Stanley, who is a clinical psychologist here in Denver, Colorado, and he refers to it as sliding versus deciding. And I'm going to describe it to you here. Perhaps your journey went something like this. You met your ex, started dating, moved in together because it was convenient, married because it seemed the next step, or maybe you got pregnant and decided, well, we should just get married. And you had kids, bought a house, and now here you are in Divorceville. So it might sound familiar, and there's nothing inherently wrong with this progression. But it often leads to a lack of intentional direction. And that's not just necessarily in one's life around relationships. However, we're talking about relationships and divorce. The good news is that a divorce, despite its challenges, provides a unique opportunity in what it will do, and this is what the unique opportunity that it provides. If you can reframe this in your mind, is it'll disrupt your previous vision and direction, offering a chance to realign your life intentionally. Here's the long and short of it, gentlemen, is your life is going to change. It's going to change whether or not you like it and whether or not you want it to change. So when I talk about this in the context of it being an opportunity, I know it's really hard to grasp some of the time, but it absolutely is if you can, again, reframe and put your mindset towards this as being an opportunity. So let's talk about clarifying your future self. There was, if you look back at some of the podcasts, there was a podcast I did called The Dirty Word Sacrifice. And in it, I discussed our unique abilities as humans to envision our future. Now, this is unique to us. This is not something that the rest of the animal kingdom can do. They don't have the ability to think forward like that, to contemplate and to plan their futures to the extent that we do. Now, some of them have some innate ways in which they prepare for winter or changing in seasons. They have the perception of weather that might be coming, but none can do what we do in envisioning our future. So this ability has propelled our evolution and improved our quality of life immensely. And it's definitely something that we can utilize and a skill that we can apply to this personal journey of divorce. There's a great author named Dr. Benjamin Party who puts it this way. Quote, when you decide who you'll be and the life you'll live, then you can have anything you truly want, end quote. Okay, so again, I recognize and understand that might be a difficult and challenging thing to get your head around right now, but I want you to stick with me because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you two ways, basically a two-step simple process that's going to help you clarify your vision and direction for life after divorce. And the first one is doing some journaling. I call it morning journaling because that's when I like to do it. And I think that's when your brain and your mind is most open to creativity, is when you first wake up and you're open and you've gone through the restful and healing cycle of sleep throughout the night. Then waking up and starting the journal in the morning is the best thing. So first thing is just go get a journal. I buy them at the dollar store for the small composition journals, and I just fill those. So it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be leather bound. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just something to be able to get a pen onto paper. And what you're going to do is each morning you're going to spend 5 to 10 minutes. So again, this isn't a huge project, 5 to 10 minutes. So you might have to wake up 5 to 10 minutes earlier, writing down your thoughts and feelings. So this is when your mind is most clear and creative, like I said, and has sorted through your challenges during your sleep. And I'm going to give you 4 questions to answer and to journal on each morning. So the first one is, who is your future self 3 years from now? So I want you to journal on that every single day this week for 7 days until we get to step 2 next week. So I want you to write out who your future self is 3 years from now. So think about that. You can add, you can delete as you do it over the next 7 days. The next one is, what does a quote unquote normal day look like for this future self? So again, you're envisioning post-divorce, you're envisioning the co-parenting, you're envisioning your new circumstances or environment. What does a normal day look like for this future self? The third question you're going to ask is, what matters most to your future self? So write out on that. Your future self is going to have maybe some different ideas or goals or things that matter most to them. So write out what matters most to your future self. And the last one is, why do you want to become this person? So those are the 4 journaling prompts that I want you to work on for the next 7 days. And what our goal here is in doing these this 5-step process in the Dad's Guide to Divorce is, you're going to start with a practice for these 7 days, and then after the 7 days, you're going to keep doing those, but we're going to add something new. And we're going to keep doing these. You're going to do this journaling for at least 21 days, and it's going to become a habit. So you're going to build in this habit every single morning, and then hopefully by 90 days, hopefully by the time we get done with this over the next 28 days, 30 days, then this is going to become something that, a habit that you're going to create, not a habit, but a change in your lifestyle that you're going to make, that every morning you're going to get up and you start journaling for 5 to 10 minutes every morning. Okay, the second step to this, after you're done with your morning journaling, is some morning contemplative practice. So I want you to incorporate a contemplative practice into your morning routine. Now, this can be different for each of you. It could be meditation for some, it could be prayer for some, or it could be an activity that allows you to center yourself and contemplate your future vision. So here's a couple of suggestions that I like, that I've used in the past, that I still use. The first one is meditation. I recommend, there's a great meditation if you just YouTube or Google Mind Valley. It's called a 6-phase meditation. It's short, it's simple, and it's effective. And it's a listening meditation, to where you're going to listen and then go through in your mind this meditative practice. So and maybe I would highly suggest maybe listening to it before and after you do your journaling too. The next contemplative practice you can do, if you want, you can do this in conjunction with, in addition to, or instead of, is walking. just walking is one of the most amazing things you can do, period, right now. Whether you're exercising a lot or not exercising, whether you're meditating, not meditating, journaling, or whatever, walking can span a ton of that mental, emotional, physical, spiritual need that you have, the four pillars or the four legs of the stool that we talk about. Because if you just do a walk for 15 minutes daily, you could choose some calming music. It's going to help evoke some reflection, like classical music. And it could help you think about your journal entries. You could find a nice place that you like to walk. Definitely getting out and getting sun and sunlight on your skin and your body is important. Getting out of nature and breathing. If you're going to walk at a brisk pace, that will help your cardiovascular as well. Walking is really perfect. But the contemplative practice can be any activity that grounds and centers you, allowing you to reflect on your vision. So whatever that might be, I just suggested meditation and walking. I found those to be very quick and easy ones to do, but this can be whatever you want. Some other ideas are gardening. For those of you that are runners, I know that that's a great contemplative practice. My body's just not designed for that and never been able to do it. Yoga, weightlifting, motorcycle riding out in the mountains. That's one that I've done. I love it. Shooting, swimming, cooking, whatever it might be. Just try different ones until you find one that works best for you. And again, you're going to stick with this. You're going to do this every morning. So you're looking at about 10 to 20 minutes every single morning between your contemplative practice and your journaling. So dedicate yourself. Gentlemen, we're at 16 minutes right now, 17 minutes. What I want you to do is I want you to now be done with this podcast, turn it off, and I want you to take the next 10 to 20 minutes and do each one of these contemplative practices. If you're driving, maybe it's just you're going to turn off the radio and you're going to listen. If you're listening in headphones somewhere, you're just going to turn everything off and you're going to do your contemplative practice. It could be a meditation, or maybe you're going to just walk around the yard, whatever it might be, and then come back and then just write out those journal prompts, those 4 journal prompts. I'll say them again to you. Who is your future self 3 years from now? What does a normal day look like for this future self? What matters most to your future self? And why do you want to become this person? Okay, so this is your plan for the next 7 days. And then next week, we're going to talk about step 2, where we're going to explore how to strategize your actions to align with this new vision and direction that you're creating. So our goal is that we're going to make this divorce a journey to fulfilling a post-divorce life that is just the beginning of something that is amazing and great for you and an opportunity for the future. Thank you for listening. I sincerely appreciate it. Stay strong, my brothers, and God bless. To hear the rest of this episode and access the corresponding resources, visit thedivorcedadvocate.com and become a member of our community. It's free to join and will provide you with the resources you deserve as a divorced or divorcing dad. Thank you for listening. God bless, and I'll talk with you next week.